What's up, guys? This is Keith Kelfis with the Untrapped podcast. I have an awesome guest for you, Joshua Tree Experts. So I'm at the Synced live event in Atlanta. Right, we're actually leaving. We're in an Uber. Dude, let's do a share ride at Uber XL. We got a super cool Uber driver. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. How was it?
And we're talking about business. So these guys have been able to create a franchise for their tree business, and my mouth is dropping right now. If you're a landscaper in the green industry, if you've ever messed around with tree work, you know it takes skill, it takes extreme caution, awareness of safety, and even if you're climbing trees or doing stuff like that, obviously you should be properly trained and insured, but it's one of the hardest things that I've been aware of, and my mouth keeps dropping hearing these guys talk. I'm going to let them take the floor in a minute here, is because how do you scale something that requires that amount of trust? And every question I ask them, they have an answer for. What's up? What's your guys' names?
Joshua Malik, founder and CEO.
And my name is Dylan DeGroat. I am the Director of Franchise Development for Joshua Tree Experts.
And what city?
We are just above Philadelphia, now we're north in the Lehigh Valley area, Pennsylvania.
Okay, so I was asking, I want to get right into the meat and potatoes. You're franchising tree work. Like McDonald's is a franchise. People have seen the movie The Founder. If you haven't, go watch it. It's mind-blowing how you could take a system, cut out all the fat, and duplicate it and make it cookie cutter, and then scale it. And you're having success with this. Can you go and talk about it? Grab my phone carefully.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Our success is we've been franchising for just over a year, and we have 5 franchisees that we sold to, and it's going really well. We are in Indianapolis right now, Charlotte, North Carolina, Middletown, New York, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Westchester, Pennsylvania as well.
What? Yep. So we started franchising about 2 years ago. When we started the franchise concept, we came on board with a really premier franchise sales organization called Carpool by Franchise Fastlane. They helped us develop what we call the discovery process. That's where a candidate goes from intro call, understanding the economics of what this opportunity can actually produce, all the way up through, even visiting us and actually coming out to our operations, seeing it firsthand, putting all those puzzle pieces together, and then ultimately executing what we call a 10-year marriage, really, because at the end of the day, franchising is a marriage. It's a partnership between two entities of really how do we grow and how do we scale.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where when you franchise, the business of franchising is very different than operating a green industry company, because your clients now are franchisees. Their clients are becoming your clients. So nurturing that relationship and cultivating a good culture is really important. There's a lot of back-end work before you can actually begin franchising. You have to register in several of the states to sell franchises. You have to create an operations manual, which ours is about 280 pages, and it's specific to your company and how you work and the processes and systems that you have in place. It's developing a FDD, which is a franchise disclosure document, which is also an overwhelming piece of overcoming something like that, but it really talks about the experience of the business. It will show the initial investment, it'll show the equipment, it'll show the leadership team, and it really points people. It's really what becomes your franchise agreement, actually.
Yeah, and then ultimately the best part about the FDD, what's called Item 19. Item 19 is a financial representation, so you will actually see a full breakout of 2021 P&L versus 2022 P&L in our current franchise disclosure, and then every year you resubmit that franchise disclosure document with the federal government, the FTC. They approve it, and then you get to publish that one again. So we're really excited about our 2024 numbers.
This is amazing. So how old are you guys?
I'm 31.
I'm 49.
31 and 49. All right. These guys, right now, they're sharp guys at the event. They look like nicely dressed landscapers. We're at a landscaping event. And listen very careful to the proprietary language that they're speaking, because this is the mindset stuff that you need to start thinking to start growing and scaling your business, so you don't wake up a decade from now still a chuck in a truck, right? Now they have a franchise opportunity. Let's say, how can somebody get into this?
More of the Untrapped podcast right after this.
Yo, it's really important to get your numbers dialed in. Basically have a budget when you're running a service business, landscaping, window cleaning, whatever you're doing. And I created a free PDF guide download, and it's basically a budget. And the cool thing is I've taken actual pictures of a budget, like say a truck cost you $933 per day you got to make for that truck. And then you can also figure out what your personal budget is and draw a line down the center. Anyways, I'll explain more when you go to keithkalfas.com/budget, and you can put your name and email and download it right then and there and read through it and look through it and then implement this stuff into your business. All right, I'll see you there.
This is Untrapped with Keith Kalfas.
They can always, if they're trying to franchise their business or get into the Joshua Tree Expert system, they can always contact us. They can go to our website, joshuatreeexperts.com, or treecarefranchising.com is another way. Just like any website, it's got a submission form that we respond to immediately.
Yeah, and what's really nice too is education's free in this industry. You could go through this process, understand it, get to experience what it would be like in the day of a life of a franchisee. What can my day look like? And ultimately, our goal with the franchise system is to create opportunity for a professional experience in tree care. So kind of a little bit about Joshua Tree Experts. We've been operating since 2005. We started as a tree care, tree pruning, removal, and reducing service with healthcare. In 2017, we added on lawn care services, designed a program for fertilization, aeration, weed management. And then in 2020, we rolled in pest control, which is fully exterior pest control, and we do mosquito, flea, and tick as well. So we're actually 3 different franchise opportunities essentially built into one. That offers franchisees the opportunity to scale and massively produce large numbers over the course of their 10-year agreement with us. And ultimately, how we do that is through launching tree care in year 1, and then we roll in the additional services of lawn care and pest control in year 2.
So you're basically not going to the club and smoking weed and playing video games, and you're sitting down creating SOPs and frameworks and systems. And I'm just joking, but like, listen to how these guys are talking, because I'm cracking jokes and I'm having fun here. Because actually, on New Year's I ate a brownie and I got so paranoid. I called up my mom, and not my mom, my dad and my sister. Like, dude, I love you so much. You don't understand. And they're like, Keith, what's gotten into you?
A brownie.
It was a special brownie.
It was a special brownie. But anyways,
it's a growth strategy, just like any business. And
but the way that you're talking, this is some like EOS Gino traction, get a grip, rocket fuel type stuff that is a higher level. Like last month in Atlanta, I spoke at an event here as well, and I sat down with Jonathan Potoshnik. He's like the founder of he built like a $15 million lawn and landscape business, fully automated, and then this other software business. And he sold the business, and I'm talking to him, and I said, how did you get totally financially free and have a balanced home life? And he basically said once he started writing the big checks and hiring people to come into his business that were entrepreneur minded, that were no longer employees to manage, but they were like collaborators, then the business started to take off because he was hiring people who were already entrepreneur minded. It's a scaling mindset. So I feel like we're really in the future because we're using technology and these things that, I didn't hear anybody talking about this even a decade ago. So how did you guys get your hands on this type of information? Who is coaching you? And what are the thoughts going through your head to be thinking this advanced?
Yeah, so that's a good question. And we did very similar to the point where we followed the Gino, Wickman, and EOS model that we adopted 3 years ago. And we were already a larger company. We have 70 employees at the corporate office. So operating 3 different profit centers through the tree care, lawn care, and pest control, we did the same thing of what you're talking about, Keith, where it's like we need to have higher educated entrepreneurial type mindset. So we built a leadership team on the corporate level of who's in the charge of finance and admin, who's in charge of operations, who's going to be sales and marketing. And we developed roles and held those people accountable to those roles and to the goals that we were having. So we're very aggressive in collaborating as a team, but we're also very aggressive on all pointing in the same direction. We're all rowing in the same boat, trying to get to the same place. As we've developed the franchise system, we've done the same thing. We now have an internal team, leadership team, that where there's some people experienced in the franchise system. There's people that are there from larger corporations that came on that understand what growth looks like and some of the challenges that you're going to be meeting along the way that can help guide myself and give me advice and kind of bounce things off me on what the vision of the company is, where we're going, and some of the things we're going to have to overcome.
Yeah. So walk a mile, see a mile. You don't just sit around and like wait for new information to show up. You start actively pursuing, and then doors start opening. You start learning new things. You start meeting people with different.
Yeah. So it's funny because you talked about the EOS system. So part of that is developing your core values. One of our core values is improve and adapt, right? The tree care industry in and of itself is very slow moving when it comes to upgrading technology, being up to date, providing a professional experience, a proposal. What we've done over the past 18 years is every time we do something, we understand it, we basically R&D it, and then we write an SOP about it. So, as Josh had said, hey, we have this 200 and some odd page operations manual. You as an entrepreneur, that's the mindset you have, is how do I take this system? Because franchising in and of itself is a business in a box. How do I take this successful, replicatable system and manipulate it in a new market? And so what we're experts at is, hey, we understand how to get leads for tree care, lawn care, pest control. We know how to do the operations for tree care, lawn care, and pest control. What's really great is we have entrepreneurs who are coming in, they got skin in the game, they're investing in their future, they're building opportunity for themselves, and maybe they want to get out of that corporate grind. So to kind of give you an example here, our first franchisee, he was a banker. Our second was they did home flipping. Our third was a expert cabinetry maker in Philadelphia. Our fourth, he owns a pharmaceutical business. And our previous one, our latest one, is actually an IT director for a Fortune 500 company. So he does product development for them. So all these individuals are bringing in so much experience from these large companies and these other operating areas where, hey, we've done this one time in tree care, lawn care, and pest control. We understand that system, but they can bring in and really help everybody really excel and grow.
So one of the big points there too is when Dylan's talking is we're not looking for owners that want to go out and do the tree work. They don't, not being out on the crew, not learning how to climb trees. If we had owners coming to us like that, we're going to say, hey, go get a job. This isn't what you want. This is a scalable business. We're giving you the systems to operate crew level people, but we're also recruiting on the back end to find you that experienced certified arborist that has their risk assessor license, they have their applicator's license, they understand insect disease management, soil root relationships through fertilization. But then we're also developing experienced crew leaders, climbers, grounds persons that can go out there and perform the work. We're really focusing more on that back performance KPIs. We're not just looking at numbers on a day-to-day, but you're also developing a scorecard that is going to show you trends from week to week, month to month, that's going to get you to where you want to be in the business. So it's really having these entrepreneurial type mindset people that are coming in saying, hey, how do I scale the business? I'm starting with 4 people. How do I introduce the additional service of lawn care and pest control? How am I going to build value in the business through asset acquisitions of vehicles and equipment and real estate? How am I going to get into an operations center in year 2? What do I do? The whole franchise system is saying, hey, we can get you in 1 year utilizing our system, where a lot of companies are going to take 5 to 10 years on doing that. So it's website, we're already developing your website on the back end. We're creating all your intellectual property through design and postcards and marketing. We have a call center where we're taking all of our franchisees' calls, that all their calls are being forwarded to our main office, where we have a customer service team that's doing lead qualification, taking payments, handling client support. We do a one-step sales process for all of our lawn care because our CRM has a measuring tool in there where it's like we can sell it right over the phone. So when Indiana is offering lawn care, when we get that call, we can sell it right over the phone. They come in the next day, they're going to have 10 new jobs on the book.
And we do that for pest control as well. Another part about this industry in general is just hiring. Like, how do I find the right people? That's always going to be a question. And we actually have a full-time on-staff recruiter at the corporate office who handles all of our franchisees' recruitment processes. So everything from posting the job ad all the way up through the initial phone screening and secondary phone screening. Basically, the franchisee is ultimately responsible for just having those face-to-face interviews, deciding who they work best with, who's going to match well with their culture the best, and then ultimately deciding who they want to hire. But we're only putting people in front of them that have the experience, have the certifications that we know is going to be necessary in order for them to be successful.
What? Bro, let me just pause and let that sink in. So, one big takeaway I'm getting from that, and I'm super appreciative of you guys listening right now. Think about this. Sometimes the owner coming in, not knowing how to be the technician. He doesn't know how to, change the blades on the lawnmower. He doesn't know how to climb the tree. Might be a benefit if he's entrepreneur minded. If you read the book Who Not How by Dan Sullivan, he talks about asking how am I going to do this is the wrong question. Say who can help me do this. So you think of who are the who's and not the how's, and that's helping me scale my media business with virtual assistants, because there's a bunch of stuff that I'm not good at, I suck at, I don't know how to do, so I'm finding people to help me do that. So they said that the franchisees, some of these people are coming in with an owner mentality. They're not signing up to figure out how to climb trees and how to spray pest control and stuff like that. They're owners and they're looking for something to invest in, a system that works, and they have support. And these guys have built the support for that. So it sounds to me like what you guys are doing is you're creating clarity, a system to plug into, and you're compressing time for them by increasing the chances by far of them having success with a proven win-win system. And clarity is the most important thing. And real quick, you guys are talking about money and budgets and numbers. Quick thing, I put together a free PDF download. It's actually a guide. It's a 16-page document that'll teach you how to put a basic budget into your business. Budgeting sucks, it's boring, but it's also important. And also there's like real screenshots of doodles of me budgeting and everything. And then it's straight meat and potatoes though. Go to keithkelfis.com/budget and you could download the free guide right now. And they're also talking about like hiring and training people. If you want to learn the 4 steps to training employees, we've also put together a 12-step guide for that. It's keithkelfis.com/4 steps. You get the 4-step guide to training employees. So I have another question for you guys. Let's see how we are on time. I wish this was in like a live studio audience so we can get Q&A, because I'm sure there's a lot of questions coming up. Where do you guys see yourself in 5 years and 10 years?
Great question. So we go off of the 1, 3, 10-year picture and plan is what we do. And our whole goal is, our 10-year target is, our BHAG is we want to deliver over 1 million client services. We want to do that through the corporate and our franchise locations alone. So that's all of our lawn care, all the services we offer. We want to be able to deliver over 1 million services in 10 years. When it comes to the franchise space, this next year we want to sell 12 different locations. In 3 years, we want to have 82 units up and running, and we're projecting that goal through same thing that Keith's talking about, budgeting, mindset, making goals. We're very focused on weekly L10 meetings. We do quarterly offsite meetings, and we do 2-day annual session meetings. And this is where you're holding your people accountable. This is where you're defining on where the company's going, creating vision. I'm the visionary of the business, and I come up with the big ideas, but then I rely on my team to help me basically hone in on what we need to do to get to those goals. And it's very collaborative on the team. When we bring owners in, Keith, it's a collaborative initiative on onboarding as well.
More of the Untrapped podcast right after this. Hey, if you're looking for what is probably the greatest software ever to run your business on, go to getjobber.com/Keith. You can create proposals, invoices, collect payments, even track your entire business directly on the Jobber smartphone app. And if you want to get a totally free trial of Jobber right now, open your browser, type in getjobber.com/Keith, and if after the trial you decide you want to sign up with Keith's link, you'll automatically get 20% off your first 6 months. So what are you waiting for? Go to getjobber.com/Keith. This is Untrapped with Keith Kalfas.
Once someone executes a franchise agreement, we have 120 days that we want them up and launched. So we do that through support with all the vendor support that we have. We're ordering the vehicles, we're getting them wrapped at a certain place, and we're having them shipped right to their location where they're wrapped, ready to go. Tools, equipment purchases, everything comes in kits where they're being delivered right to their front doorstep, and it's per truck. Our apparel, we have our own apparel uniform site through Arborwear, which is a specific Joshua Tree Expert site where we have approved apparel that franchisees can only buy.
Whoa.
You're gonna
Put that one out of the podcast.
Put that on the podcast. Knockawa just almost rear-ended a big Tex truck in front of us here, and Keith saved him. He gave him a good. He just saved the front end on this beautiful Cadillac that we're in, so that was good.
Pay a lot for these brakes.
Yeah.
You know, I think ultimately the 10-year success, what we're looking for, and this is a 1 year, 3 year, this is an every year success. We want to drive success for franchisees. We don't want them to get into this business and be alone. We want them to feel supported. As the franchise developer, my main goal is actually taking you through that process, helping you understand exactly what it is, what's it going to take to get into this system, does it meet the lifestyle, what are your goals, what is your why. Ultimately, that's what we go through that process to determine and see if Joshua Tree Experts is the right opportunity for that. But with that being said, our goal at the corporate office is absolutely to, if we have a potential franchisee in the mix and they want to talk to owners, I want to be able to just give them an email with a list of owners that they can call at any time, ask them any questions. Hey, how is the support going? How's your sales going? Do you feel like you're up and operating at a capacity that you were able to scale and build this model out? And that's what we want for all of our franchisees. So we're really excited as we get into this system here.
What is your names again?
Joshua Malik.
And I am Dylan DeGroat.
Dylan to what?
Dylan DeGroat.
Very nice, man. These guys are straight up geniuses. Was that awesome? Check out Joshua Tree Experts. We're on social media.
So you can check us out on LinkedIn. We're on Instagram, Facebook. We're on everything. Just do Joshua Tree Experts and check out our website, joshuatreeexperts.com. If you're specifically interested and you want to get it started on the franchise discovery process, go to treecarefranchising.com. Has a lot of great information on there. Then you'll get connected with me and we'll learn more about each other and see if Joshua Tree Experts is a good fit for you.
If you do, say you heard them from Keith Kalfas on the Untrapped podcast, so these guys can track where all their different leads are coming in, because I'm sure they're doing podcasts and stuff like that. That's so awesome, guys. And then real quick, if you're looking for what's probably the best software to run your service business on that's always upgrading, it's so streamlined now. It's Jobber software. I've been using Jobber for over 4 years in my business. Don't plan on going anywhere else. You can do billing, invoicing, payment collections. You can automate the follow-up with the customers. You can do so much on Jobber. You can also get a free 2-week trial, totally free, and a huge discount with my exclusive link. Go to getjobber.com/Kalfas. Go there and sign up. And if you enjoyed the show, whether you're listening on Apple or Spotify, take a moment to leave the show a well-worded review. It helps boost the rankings so this can reach more people. My videos and podcasts, we actually just crossed 700,000 downloads. We recently hit, just for a moment, but number 37 on the entrepreneur category on Apple Podcasts. And my videos and podcasts have helped start collectively around 10,000 businesses. So I'm really excited about that, and thank you so much. I appreciate your time, and I hope to see you at an event soon. I just spoke at the Sync event in Atlanta, and I'm going to be doing my own live event soon. So go to keithkalfas.com/events to find out any event that I'll be at around the country. And much respect to you, and I'll see you in the next show.